Hey guys, welcome to Judge Jodi Paxton Road's Premier League Player Ratings show. Oh guys, what a week! What a week! What another week we've had with Spurs. It's just relentless. I honestly cannot wait for the season to be over. I think Sean, you've just told me that I think there's 4 games left, which surprises me, but I'm very excited about that. So let's just end this season because I'm done.
Roll on May the 20th, though.
Oh, not long to go. 1st of May today, so we haven't got long to go. But guys, joining me this evening, I have Sean back with me to break down yesterday's performance against Liverpool. What a performance it was. I mean, there's quite a lot of talking points, really, I think, about the game yesterday. I think it was initially probably going to be a bit of a maybe a boring one because I was predicting 3-1, like I think a lot of people were. I just thought we were going to get absolutely thrashed by Liverpool yesterday. And obviously, first half again. So what happened? And then yeah, we came back fighting, didn't we? And we just got done dirty. So I don't know. What do you wanna say about kind of the overall thoughts on the game before we get into the ratings?
It's funny, 24 hours on, I still feel more aggrieved having lost 4-3 than I would have if we'd lost 3-1. And
Mm-hmm.
that is just, I think that's really just a kind of reflection on what this season has done to my psyche, my Spurs psyche this
Mm,
year. Started off with so much hopes.
yeah.
Um, the best start we ever had in a Premier League after 10 games.
Mm-hmm.
Football wasn't very good, but there was a hope that the football would turn. The World Cup came and went. It was clear that the coach had decided he was not staying. He, you know, so much
Mm.
has gone on off
So
the
much
field,
every single day, isn't it? There's something
and
different.
and and, and you come away from games, and the overwhelming feeling is relief when you've won.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's absolute. I mean, like we met at the Brighton game,
Mm-hmm.
and we won that game. But even now, I can't understand how we won that game.
No. Well,
It's
we got lucky, didn't we? Really,
well,
like ref decisions
VAR
and stuff.
is
Yeah.
is some incredible thing which seems to apply to some teams, doesn't
Yeah,
apply to others. We could
yeah,
talk about that in reference to yesterday's game, for example.
100%. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, I think we always thought it was going to be a weird season, didn't we, with the World Cup thrown in the middle? But I think it's just been just crazy, just with the amount of craziness for all teams. I think that's like really shocked people this season. But yeah, I don't think we can say we're still in fifth anymore, can we? That was kind of the thing that we were able to rely on, the fact that we were still in fourth or fifth, but we're not there anymore. So, but yeah, I think we'll get into the what we thought about yesterday's performance. And yeah, rate the players. It's going to be it was a really tough one for me, Sean. I think I told you I fell asleep for half of that, not half the game, about 25 minutes of the game yesterday. I'm going to admit I actually dozed off on the lounge. Yeah, I think you could talk about the fans that left after what 12 minutes, probably I think it was, or 8 minutes, 12 minutes of the game. That I mean that was shocking, to be honest. I don't think you should be doing
I
that.
mean, the gallows humour. Spurs fans were singing, "How shit must you be? It's only 2-0." You know what I mean? It was. I mean, fair
Um,
play to the Spurs fans. They were really noisy in spite of everything. Even when we were 3-0 down, you could hear them, and it wasn't
yeah,
necessarily. I mean, it was. There was
yeah.
there was a touch of gallows humour. There was a bit of encouragement. There was, surprisingly, I felt the chairman got off lightly, given that we were getting pummeled for the second Sunday running. But it's one of those curiosities, isn't it? As I say, I can't. My overwhelming theme is sort of rage,
Mm.
rage, rage at the lack of professionalism by one player when we recovered a 3-goal deficit at Anfield.
Mhm.
And I'm sorry, my focus.
Well, we'll get on to that. I'm sure we'll get on to
On one
that.
who will not get marked because he was a substitute.
That's right. But we can discuss. We can discuss. David, your family's gone to the Leicester v Leeds game, and if they don't win, the whole household. I thought they were playing Everton tonight. But yeah, I don't know. I actually wanted to bring this forward so I could watch the Leicester game. So
they're definitely playing Everton. Yeah,
it's gonna be an interesting one, I think, later on. But we're not here to talk about that right now. We're here to talk about Spurs. Right, Sean, let's get into the ratings.
let's go.
Guys, if you are in the comments or if you are watching along with Sean and I, can you please join with us, put your ratings in as always. We'd like to know what you think about the players as well. And we can have a little chat about what you guys think as well. So with that in mind, let's talk about Hugo. No, not Hugo. Fraser. It just comes off the tip of my tongue because he's always first. But Fraser Foster, back in goal. Not too much to say from my side from Fraser, to be honest. I think it was very quiet. No saves for him on the day to make. I must admit, when I did see, when we knew he was going to be starting ahead of Lloris, to be honest, I don't think we'll see Lloris again now for the rest of the season. But I wasn't that confident thinking about Fraser up against Liverpool. Personally, I think he does have a bit of shakiness in him, but I guess it's the better of the two evils. I think Hugo probably would have been a bit more crazier, I'd say, to be honest. So I think he did well. I don't think the goals were his fault, personally. But I don't know. What do you think? Do you think any of those goals he could have done better for?
It'd be very tough. I mean, possibly the winning goal he could have maybe cut out, but I mean, how far out was Jota when he scored that goal is maybe.
Yeah.
It's as you say, I don't think it was a blame for any of the goals. It was the lack of intelligence in front of him. And what I did like about him, which I do like about him, is he's so much better with his feet. So much better with his
distribution's
feet. I mean,
better,
to me, if I was ranking the goalkeepers, he's by far our best goalkeeper at the squad. And this is someone we picked up for free as a backup keeper. Probably the best signing of the summer last year. In the end, it turned out to be.
Yeah.
And, I just, I mean, no fault on Fraser for any of the goals. To be fair, I think.
No. What about the penalty? Do you think he could have done? You can't really say much about the.
Yeah, you just. I mean, you guess. I mean, he went the side that Salah's put all his penalties recently, and Salah went down the middle. There's not a lot you could do.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, David, this is definitely something we'll get onto when we're talking about the defence, but they don't communicate, do they? It's very clear to see. There's just, I don't even know what's going on with the defence. Midfield was not 1 ounce of creativity, so bad Romero had to play the pass of the night through forward. Yeah, no, I'm all for that. All right, let's move on from Fraser. Let's go to Romero. What we're saying, a 3 and a 4. The reason I initially was going to bump him way down like you, Sean, just obviously, the penalty, he gave it away. It's clear to see, like, he shouldn't be doing those rash things that he's always doing. And, he cost us really with that. But I do think, he set up that goal for Son, for Son's goal. So I think what I've done, I've just kind of rounded it up. I'm trying to sort of balance out the game and just, if he hadn't have pass that ball up to Son, then obviously we wouldn't have got that goal. So trying to kind of make it a bit fairer, but yeah, I do think that Romero is being a massive liability for us of late, and I think he's gone. He's checked out, hasn't he? I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I mean, every week passes, you think his priority was winning the World Cup, and he's done that, and he's kind of phoning in his performances nowadays. To be fair, on the penalty, was probably not helped by the fact that Dier went walkabout. And I probably should have given him a 4 like you for the pass to to Son, which was the pass of the game, as David has alluded to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that first 15 minutes is going to crucify the scores that I gave I'm giving the defence tonight, and I make no apologies for that, because you cannot afford to give 3 goals away
in 15 minutes
at Anfield.
No,
You know,
no, it's
even Ryan
embarrassing.
Mason said that. You know, you cannot afford to do those first 15 minutes. You know, the tragedy is that from 31 minutes onwards, when Kane has scored, we were the better team by a country mile, the better team, as Ryan said. But you know, 3 goals down, it's too late. You know, I mean, the best we could have got was the draw, and we'd got the draw, and then
and we'll discuss that in a bit. Dino Dinosaur, thank you for being here again, my friend. You were surprised to see Levy at the game. I was actually as well. I was kind of like, he doesn't usually go to away. He does sometimes pops up at away games, but yeah,
no,
I think
he was at Newcastle, so why wouldn't he go to Liverpool?
Fair. Yeah. No, to be fair, I mean, I don't even want to be fair to Levy, but to be fair to him, he is probably one of the only owners that I do see at most of the game. The majority of the games, he's always there. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm going to leave the fairness thing. But yeah, it's probably another PR stunt maybe from his PR team to just make sure that he's showing face or something like that. I don't know. All right, let's move on from Romero. We're going to go to Eric Dier, Sean. Mate. Another Dier masterclass. 2s all round for this guy. Probably should be 1s, or I don't even know, really. He needs to go. He needs to go.
Do you know, I mean, it's incredible that a year ago, the guy was putting in like 9 out of 10 performances.
Right, I know.
In the
he was like man of the match quite a lot of the time.
Yeah, chasing the top 4. He got his place in the England team, and something happened. He switched off.
Yeah, it is.
He just, you know, it's like attaining with something. He reached it, and oh no, he was. Every time he gets the ball and he's forced to play on it with his left foot, I just cringe. And I just say, which opponent is going to get this, and how far out from the goal are they going to be?
But where was he? I don't even know. Like, I was looking back at the highlights as well yesterday, and for that second goal, he was nowhere to be seen on that back line. Like, he was like really deep in the middle. I don't know what he was doing. Like,
did anyone know what they were doing in that first 15 minutes? So
no, probably not. Do they really know what they're doing at all now without any kind of leadership? That's the other thing, you know, no leadership on the pitch at all. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, he's
without words, Jodi, without words.
He's just terrible.
I'm trying to keep it clean as well after my sweary ranting on the reaction show last night. So.
Oh yeah, sorry, I missed that one. You probably let all yours out now. But yeah, I don't know. I just don't have much to say about this game at all. Like, I was really hesitant to do a show today because I'm just kind of speechless at the moment with our performances, and it's just I'm really not enjoying it. And like I said, I just want the season to be over. But let's move on to Ben Davies, and another one I don't have much to say about, to be honest, because another reason why I was kind of looking back at the game was that I don't remember or recall seeing Ben Davies much on the pitch yesterday. So I've given him a 4 just because I don't think that, especially in that first half of the match, that he really did much. I think for that second goal, again, kind of going back to that where Dier wasn't where he should have been. I think Davies was blocking Salah, but like he was kind of the only one. Like, I think he was sort of forced.
You know, when you say their second goal, I can't remember their second goal. I think I was stunned. I was thinking,
because it happened so quickly. It was a Diaz goal.
Have I jumped in a time machine and gone backwards in a week
to Newcastle,
to St James's Park? You know,
I know.
So I don't remember. I mean, one thing I will say, he was was very much involved in the build up to Kane's goal in the first half. And there's a great, if you're searching through Twitter, there's a great shot which sort of, shows Højbjerg complaining that the ball wasn't passed to him by Skipp, where Skipp sent the ball to Perisic, who then ended the career of Virgil van Dijk with that chop back. You know what I mean? And he's complaining, and you just thought, do you know what, Pierre? I mean, he has played quite well this season, and I have defended him because I do feel he's a player you need to see in a match day situation. But he's
all over the pitch, isn't he? When you go to the
World
game.
Cup, I mean, I think the collective psyche of Danish players was affected by that World Cup because they turned up with such high hopes, and they stank the place out, and he's just not been the same since the World Cup.
Yeah, no. Well, a lot of them haven't, though, have they?
No.
David, you're giving him a 3. Didn't get close to stop the cross for the first goal, and the defense is that bad, and you don't notice him. Yeah, well, there you go. Maybe I'm being a bit generous there with my 4, but just terrible defending all round. Just inexcusable. Inexcusable. We need gutting from top to bottom for this club. Like, we can't have these players. Like, whatever new manager comes in, like these players are just going to have that Spursy tagline against them. All of these players, right? So they need to go. We can't have them anymore because.
But no one has cleared out the number of players that we need to do in one window.
Agree.
What, City 2 years ago? Do it. You can only ever get rid of 1, 2, maybe 3 at the most. We've got a whole load of talent coming back that have been on loan. I use the word talent.
Well, I don't even know what we're going to do with those guys. Like, what are we going to do? We're going to be in a mess.
At the existing squad.
We've got such a recruitment nightmare ahead of us. Like, I have no idea what's going to happen. All these, like, so many of these guys have needed to go for 2 or 3 years now. And
at least. Well, in the case of number 27, we should have sold him after the Champions League final.
Well, yeah.
But when he was worth money.
But that's the only thing that we can talk about with him as well, really.
I remember that's 2019. We're now in 2023.
I know.
Someone. I was listening to a podcast today. Someone gave an incredible stat about Mora. He hasn't scored in the league since Boxing Day 2021. Hasn't scored in the league.
Is that true?
It's Boxing Day.
I remember him coming on as a sub and scoring a couple of goals, but maybe that was in the cup games. But yeah, stats don't lie, I guess. Right, let's move on to Porro. 4.5 and a 4.5 and a 4. I think he obviously massively at fault for the first goal. I think a few shaky moments as well within there. I think, but that, we could say that for a lot of them in that first like 20-30 minutes. But I think the second half he definitely pulled back. I just think he's always trying to shoot, I think, when he's not in the right position or if he's too far out. I don't like how he's kind of a little bit selfish in that regard, and he doesn't pass the ball enough. That's my thoughts, and I'm personally, my thoughts. I'm missing Emerson from a defensive point of view, anyway. So I don't know. What do you think? Why 4.5?
The reason I gave him 4.5 was he did start terribly, and he was at fault for the first goal for certain.
Yeah.
However, he was a big part in us clawing back the game in the second half. He was an absolute menace to Robertson in the second half, and Robertson was nowhere near as effective in the second half as he was in the first half. Whatever Ryan Mason does, and I see people saying Mason didn't have a plan. Well, he did. He had a plan. He didn't have a plan at the start of the game, but he negated Arnold Trent after half an hour. I don't remember Trent causing us any difficulty after 30 minutes. So
Yeah.
please, I don't want Ryan Mason for the full-time post, but
No.
I've
But
seen
is
I've
that
seen
even?
more. I've seen more in the last 2 games in terms of team spirit, in terms of effort, in terms of wanting to play for the club than I have all season. So at least give him some credit. He's not the long-term answer, but he's it's making that decision to install Stellini look the nightmare that it was.
But do you think? I've heard a lot of people talking about Mason putting his name in the hat for the long-term manager, but that's not even a question from my mind. I don't think. Is that even a question? Oh, I wouldn't.
Well, only if we'd won on Thursday, won yesterday, and then carried that on through to the end of the season, possibly.
Really?
But
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
I mean, if he was to have 6 wins in the Premier League, you'd have to say he was in the hat.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen, is it?
No, it's not going to happen. No. But I'd rather have someone who talks like he does. I mean, he's so much better in the press conferences.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
He stood up for us yesterday.
Yeah.
He told, he said it should have been a red card. He said we were a better team, which we were for the 2/3 of that game yesterday. That's why it hurt so much.
Yeah, it did. It really did.
And Porro improved, and he was a big part in that.
Right, let's move to Perisic, Sean. We've got a 4.5 and a 5.5. I think it should have been a 5. I think. I mean, obviously, I bumped him up for getting the assist, and I do think he's improved in recent weeks. I think there's that nice pass to Porro, I think, which Porro kind of messed up, but I think probably one of the better-ish players, I think, for me. I mean, do you think that Porro was better than Perisic yesterday, or kind of saying that?
I think their performances matched each other, and that they started poorly and got better as the game went on. I think I do agree with you. I think Perisic has been a much improved player in the last few while. Whether he's signing off and going out on a high, I don't know. But it's I mean, let me give you a stat. He's got 8 assists, which is more than Maddison.
I saw that today, actually. Yeah.
More than Maddison, who everyone's sucking the what's it off. More than all these players that we would love to be linked with. Perisic has outdone them over the season. So put flowers on his name where he's due. I'm sure Harry Kane's appreciated him.
And that's the thing. David's saying he's a winger. He's not a fullback, so he's not playing the right position, really. So I think for getting 8 assists and not being in his natural position, I think definitely you've got to give him some credit for that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, his delivery into the box, amazing. Yeah, his cross phenomenal.
As I say, he's out assisted James Maddison, who Twitter would have you believe is the answer to all our prayers.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, he's probably not going to be staying though.
No, I would say he'd probably leave at the end of the season, and that's fine by me.
Yeah, did his job right. Skipp. Let's move to Skipp. 5.5 and a 6. I think it was a massive game for this guy. In lots of different ways, really. Obviously, we saw the red card that should have been given. Horrible challenge, and just seeing that it looked extremely painful from my perspective. I think he set up Perisic for Kane's goal, and he was just really battling in the midfield. I think he was being really strong. I mean, we only had 2 in the middle up against Liverpool's 3, so I think those guys were really trying. I think at the first half, we could see that they weren't doing enough, and they were just getting massively overrun. But I think they really picked it up in the second half, definitely. What do
Yeah,
you
no,
reckon?
I mean, as I say, I mean, I will back our academy graduates as much as possible. I think he was the only one who showed any heart.
Yeah, he did, didn't
Yeah,
he?
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe he was a bit overzealous on one of his challenges on Diaz, which I
Yeah,
mean, could have outdone the fact, but the fact that he stayed on the field doesn't negate the fact that Jota should have been off the field for that challenge. There was, I mean, such a clear red card. It was reckless. He was,
Yeah, it was. It
and
was definitely red. Yeah.
and danger. And then well, say no more. Say no more.
I do think his challenge as well early on in the game was, I mean, it's bordering on red, I
Mm.
think, for Skipp. So I do think it kind of both of them were, yeah. I think the refereeing in itself, we'll get onto that, but yeah, it wasn't great in yesterday's game. But yeah, I think we did get done dirty for that on ball Skipp. So
No, I'm I'm a big supporter of Oliver Skipp, and I hear he was the one who was actually laying into the players at St James's Park at half time. Good on him. It means something to him, and people poo-poo that, but it's really important that you have players who
yeah,
live and breathe the club.
yeah, definitely. I agree. David, you're not agreeing. He lost a double tackle for a goal. He's totally uncreative. He's not creative. I agree with that. He'll run all day, but what else? 3. I think yeah.
Well, hold on a second. Whose pass was it to Perisic? You just
Yeah.
said that.
Yeah. I mean, it was Skipp's pass, but I mean, in overall,
That's
I
not
don't
his
think he's
game.
totally
He's a
creative.
box-to-box player, as was shown at Norwich, and
Yeah.
that's the role he should play: deep and then progress the ball.
Yeah. Ankle stomps happen every match day and aren't always penalised with studs to the faces. Yeah, that's very true. United Spurs of America, thank you for joining me, my friend. What we're saying, Jews and Nuts, welcome. Skipp hasn't done well this season, but you think 5, I think. Yeah. I mean, I thought he did well, especially in that second half, but maybe 6 is a bit too generous, guys. All right, let's move to Højbjerg in the middle. 5s. Yeah, I mean, not. I mean, the first half for me, no, not good at all from Højbjerg.
First half was a 2.
Yeah,
And the second half was a 7.
I think the way that they were battling in that second half, I think he just deserves to be bumped up from my perspective. But
his performance improved when it went to a 3.
Exactly, yeah, definitely, yeah. And we needed it. Like, they were just getting massively overrun in the middle. When we didn't have that third body in there. His potential needs one more season to decide. David, what are you saying about Højbjerg? I have been one of his biggest fans, but I'm sorry, he's getting worse. So he is that. I agree with that. He is definitely declining, and I think we mentioned that before. Was around sort of since the World Cup. I think you mentioned it, Sean, didn't you? But yeah, no, I agree. He's definitely not been his usual self in games, and he's had some shocking performances actually. Newcastle, I think, was terrible, but yeah, he's not been playing well. But yeah, I think a 5 yesterday from me. Oh god, Kulu. I think I was a bit generous again. Sorry, everyone. I think I should have given this guy a 3. Actually, I don't know. I think it was just a poor day. He's just done, this guy. Like, I've been giving him the benefit of the doubt all season, and it's just not getting better. It's not getting better. I think he should have done better for that first goal as well. I think he had 1 shot on target, which is just not good enough. And yeah, he's just declining. Another one that's just declining along with all the other, the other guys that are just getting worse and worse as the season goes on. But what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you can't flower it. He's been, he's had a poor second, particularly second half of the season. He's not scored enough. I mean, he took on a shot yesterday, which I've been asking him to do, or not asking, but wanting him to do when there was a pass to Kane, who was in a much better position. And I wouldn't say. I mean, Alisson had to make the save, so I mean, he did. At least he made the keeper work. But there was one thing that really stood out to me, and that was there was a breakaway. I think it was with him and Salah, and in a foot race, Salah caught him and passed him. In an effort to recover the ball. I think it was in the first half, and I just thought, that's a man. That's a guy who's not. I think the injury is one of those injuries where he's worried that he's going to do it again. I think it was. I don't know whether it was in his hamstring or not, and I just. I think
that's the thing. Once you've done it, like you're always going to have that in the back of your mind, aren't you? Which is just not good enough, really. David, you're giving him a 1. Absolutely shocking and out of his possession. He's as bad as Son. Well, yeah, I don't think you're going to like my rating for Son either. Just giving that one away, David. I think I'm being very generous in yesterday's performance. Like I said, I was finding this one really hard to do, guys. What are you saying, Jews? Kulu has never been quick. Yeah, that's the thing. Son's very fast.
No. I mean, Kulu relies on trickery, and he's not got away with that as much this season. And I think the injury that he was sustained, was it just after the World Cup, has impacted on him to certain. Whether it's a bit like Delhi when his decline started, it was like he used to appear with all that tape on the back of his legs, and you just thought, this is a guy who's not confident in his body anymore. And if you're not confident,
that's so sad though, because he is such a young player, and to have that lack of confidence so early on in your career, that's really, and to see kind of how he came in at the very beginning of last season, or the January of last season. It's very sad to see that, if that really is the case. Jews, you think people have just sussed him out? True, could be. Oh man, I'm just feeling so drained with this team. All right, let's move to Son. Yeah, David, I don't think you're gonna like my score here. 6.5. I mean, to be fair, I know he messed up how many chances. Like, he kept hitting the post. I get it. He should have done way better, definitely. But from my perspective, he was getting into the right positions and he was really fast. Like, he did get a goal, he got an assist. I think 6.5, maybe, looking at kind of what we've given all the other players, it probably is a little bit generous, to be honest. Maybe a 6 or 5.5, 6 is probably more warranted, just for the fact that he was kind of not hitting the mark, and obviously not just messing up the chances. Some could say it was bad luck, but I think, what are we going to say for this guy? Like, all season it's been this way. Yeah, I don't know, Sean. What do you think to say?
I don't know. I mean, I was maybe being, actually, I think I've been a bit harsh. I think a 6, which, as I've explained before, when I do this show, is my pass mark. He probably justified a 6. I mean, I do believe, since we discussed him on the forecourt at Tottenham at the Brighton game, that he has actually improved, and he has.
It's been getting better and better, hasn't he?
Bizarrely, it seems that getting rid of every vestige of the Italian connection has actually coincided with him returning to sort of, he seems to find himself facing the goal a bit more, and position to get runs and what have you. And obviously he scored on Thursday, and he scored again yesterday. I do feel that we it's similar. He's actually got 10 goals this season, so that's that's a good return. And I think it's
kind of similar. I was saying the other day, like, it's kind of similar to what, I mean, I'm not going to compare his season last season to this season by any stretch, but the second half of last season for Son by far was a lot better than the first. I think that was kind of when he was chasing the golden boot, wasn't it? And he just kept banging out the goals, kind of the last sort of maybe I don't know, 7, 8, 9 games of the season, I think,
Mhm.
really. But yeah, I don't know. I think he's definitely
Wait,
stepped up. But
yeah, maybe last season was a freak season, but this season is a freak season for everybody. It seems, well,
mhm.
apart from Man City, but that's another story.
Eddie, you giving Son a 5? He did run a lot. He did.
Mhm.
Yeah, he did. He put a lot of effort in. Son scored a 1-on-1. He's great at exploiting space, but he loses every ball played into him. One led to a goal. Yeah. I just think he was getting into the right positions, and I mean that's credit to him. And yeah, I think he's definitely improving. And let's just hope for the next 4 games that he can maybe, I don't know what. I'm just lost all I've lost all motivation, Sean. Let's just get a few more goals from Son and hope for the best, really. All right, let's move to Harry. 6 and a 6. Yeah, I think probably another one that was doing the majority of the work. Like he was dropping so deep yesterday. I think there was a cross off Perisic's cross. I think led to Harry's goal. I don't think I have a goal there, but yeah, Harry got a goal, didn't he, off Perisic's
Mhm.
cross, which was really nice. But yeah, I just think he was really working hard and really just trying to turn the game around for us. He did not look happy at all, and his post match interview really like summed everything up. Really, I think in terms of what Harry Kane thinks at the moment and his mood and everything. Not that it's hard for anybody to understand. I think people probably already know how Harry's feeling, but I don't know, just massively trying to pull the game around for us, I think, from my perspective. What do you think?
He was by far our best player yesterday. Dragged us back into the game with the goal.
Mm-hmm.
Was made himself available, but looks, as you say, in that post-match interview, like a broken man. Um,
Yeah, there was no
I mean,
emotion really, was there? It was just
well, I think there was emotion. I think it was just like the emotion of a broke. I'm
anger.
done here. Just is angry. I mean, he's now the team captain in the absence of Lloris. So
Yeah.
I think he does take it a bit personally, but no, I thought yeah, he was an important factor in us getting back into the game, and I'm more than happy to give him the 6, which is the pass mark. It's quite a low bar, isn't it? I mean, I think he's my top scorer. I think Jodi, I can't remember now.
Who?
Kane.
Kane. Oh yeah,
Yeah, I think
definitely.
he's on my
We can
top
have a
score
look
from
back,
yesterday.
but yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's we're killing him, and I think we're
Yeah.
going to have to face up to the inevitability that this time next year will be
Yeah. No,
the
I
last
agree.
few weeks of his Spurs career.
No, I agree. I agree. It's there's nothing more we can say. Like he's given us everything, like literally everything.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I definitely wouldn't you know be angry or upset with Kane for leaving. So it's gonna be a sad day for us, but he needs to move on to a better team. All right, let's move to crime of the week, Sean. There's a couple of nominations this week. I think obviously, no surprises. I don't think in terms of what crime of the week is. So I'm just going to go straight into it. So obviously the refereeing, VAR, all that whole situation was definitely another massive. Massive day for kind of getting the wrong decisions and just not calling the game right. The other couple we've got is we've got Richarlison in there and we've got Mora. Didn't rate Mora, but Mora does appear there for obviously costing us that last goal. Richarlison is on there from a perspective of his little pigeon dance, his little pigeon celebration, which was amazing, to be honest. And the guy finally scored his goal. So congratulations, Richarlison, for getting your first goal. However, I think taking the time to celebrate the goal that he did I think that cost us. The Liverpool fans were on the Liverpool players' backs. If we'd have just picked up the ball and continued on, those Liverpool players were rattled, right? The way that Richarlison did his celebration gave the Liverpool fans the opportunity to kind of get their head back in the game, and I think that kind of led to them getting that final goal. Obviously, that was Mora's doing in the end. However, the fact that we'd allowed them that time to kind of get their heads back in it and to start attacking again, I think definitely from my perspective warrants Richarlison to go in there. What do you think?
If you rank, so you're effectively saying there are 3 crimes of the week, yeah?
There's 3 nominations in here.
3 nominations, right? Okay.
Yeah.
If I was to nominate them, I would certainly have Richarlison as a distant third. What else has the guy still done? That should be a goal which saved a point in a period when it felt
he
like
shouldn't have celebrated like that. He should have got the wall, and he should have.
No, let's not take the joy. There's too much joy has been taken out of the game by VAR as it is. Let him have his moment. The fans were absolutely going mad. Of course they should do it. It's not on him. It's not on him that we conceded the goal.
Mm-hmm.
Second would be the VAR and the refereeing. Not just for this Jota assault on Skipp, but also missing Skipp's challenge
as well.
Dias. Yeah, but to compound it, how is that not a penalty when I can't remember the guy's name that brought down Richarlison? He basically manhandled him to the ground. That was a penalty all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. Yeah. But you do not. This is like history. When we were going to a cup tie at Anfield, Steve Perriman was sived down at the knee, and the referee played on. It was a penalty. It was a penalty all day.
Yeah.
And they won the game 1-0. And it starts to get to you now. I know many wonderful Liverpool fans, not many of them online. Some of them online are just the most horrible individuals in the world. But there's an enmity that's growing in me against Liverpool because they have the referees in their pockets. They do have the referees in their pockets. And yesterday was another example. But by far the biggest criminal, the one who deserves to be serving time is Mora. Mora honestly,
he should not have been on that pitch.
On the Trades Description Act, Brazilian footballer, he doesn't even qualify. He should be on the beach in Rio. That's all he's fit for.
Yeah, he's done. He's done. He's
Everton. He cost us the points at Everton by getting sent off unnecessarily. He cost us the points yesterday. I mean, he had so many options. When that ball came to him, there was nobody around him. He could have headed it back. He could have taken it on his chest and volleyed it back. The other option did not exist. So what does he do? He plays the other option, and it was the perfect assist.
Mm-hmm.
It was the perfect assist.
It was.
What was he doing? He's a Sunday Park player could have dealt with that.
That's just the question forever for Mora is what is he doing? I don't think he ever knows what he's doing. The guy should not be anywhere near
brainless, absolutely brainless.
Yeah.
And the guy has dined out on Amsterdam now. That's 4 years ago.
That's the only thing we can talk about, though, with him. I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of it.
What has he done since?
He's not really done anything from my.
Oh God, no. So if it's in order, it's Mora, the refereeing, and both for and against, and then Richarlison, a very, very distant third.
What about Coy's Daniel? That came out this week as well.
Oh, the PR exercise where our mate Daniel Levy says that I may have got something a bit wrong. Oh man, There's a picture of him
40%,
today
yeah.
with
At
Scott
the
Munn
airport,
at London
isn't
City
it? I
Airport.
saw that, yeah.
You know, God knows.
Yeah.
I thought Scott Munn couldn't work for us until the 1st of July.
Who knows?
I thought
Who
he was
knows?
doing. If that picture
Maybe they're
gets
just
widely circulated, people are going to start saying,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Moore just had time at Tottenham to learn to be Spursy. Yeah, that's true, David. Paul, welcome. Let's be honest, only 2 players, the rest can go. I just think I think they all need to go. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't like some of them, but I'm just saying the fact that this season specifically has made it so toxic and so Spursy that I just don't think any of those players can. I just think we need a clean slate, and I know it's not going to happen.
It's like
But
my
it's
friend
just
said. The only joy you've got is in the demise of other teams when teams
yeah, it's
lose.
true.
Other
It's
teams
so
lose.
true.
I mean,
We don't have our own stuff to celebrate.
I was watching Wednesday night, Man City Arsenal, and I took more joy in that game than I have in any
so
of
did
our games this season.
So did I.
And it's like when you're reduced to that, then this season is the pits. And as I warned yesterday in the reaction show, things are going downhill. They're going downhill, and I don't see a recovery because we have a chairman who's clueless. We have an incomplete, inadequate recruitment process. We don't have no sign of a coach being appointed, and we keep being linked with forwards and midfielders and wingers, and
we need to get people. We need to get players out.
Goals against. Only
no.
4 teams. 4 teams have conceded more goals than Tottenham Hotspur.
It's ridiculous.
It is shocking that has
been
allowed to happen.
How many years have we been calling out for new centre backs? I've lost count. It's ridiculous. We need defense. We need our defense upgrading. Like, it's just clear.
But do you have faith in the recruitment process or whatever? No, I don't.
No. What recruitment process? I just think it's just a joke. Paul, you've supported this club since you were 6, seen the great Scribes since the 1977 team get relegated. This team is the worst. Yeah,
I was with you, Paul. 1977, I was 16 watching us go relegated. And that team was better than this team. As a team, they were a better team. They fought and oh dear. And we had a great season in what is effectively the Championship now, but Division 2, and got promoted just by the skin of our teeth. But we then did buy 2 very good Argentinians. So
those were the days, Sean.
Yeah. So players can be replaced, and those who are worried about Kane going, I don't think he's going this summer, but obviously.
Who knows? I mean, he's not going to be allowed to go this summer. That's not going to happen.
Levy has made a catalogue of errors, but he will just have to. He'll have to bite the bullet. He's never going to let Kane go, and Kane will just have to, just wait his time, and then the transfer fee just goes into his pocket rather than into Daniel Levy's pocket.
I agree, and I think that's what needs to happen for Kane, unfortunately. Jeffers, thank you for being here. It's just, I don't know. I just feel I don't like being like this, all doom and gloom, everyone. It's just really not fun. And I know you're all with me. And it's just, how many years are we having to say that this is not fun? And it's getting worse and worse. Oh man, what have we got?
Next year's going to be worse still.
Yeah, it's just
because so many of those players are still going to be here because we can't
get rid of them.
Can't get rid of them, and we're
going to have Tanguy back, aren't we? We're going to have Tanguy. We're going to have Lo Celso back. We're going to have
he'll walk in waving his Serie A title, his Scudetto medal, and you go, you again.
Great.
Yeah, you might be able to do that for 20 minutes here and 20 minutes there, but we remember Morecambe, mate. We remember Morecambe. You couldn't beat Morecambe.
We've got Palace on Saturday, Sean. What are you thinking about that one? Can't predict any of these games anymore.
You can't predict.
We?
You can't predict. I mean, Palace. Roy Hodgson seems to have done a job. I feel sorry for Vieira because Vieira had to play all the tough games, get beaten, and then when the break in their season in terms of fixtures, they sacked him and they've given it to Hodgson. And I can't, I'm loath to feel sorry for Vieira given the number of times I saw him terrorise us in a red shirt for Arsenal. But, Hodgson's he's obviously having an Indian summer. And who knows? It could be, I mean, when we went there to their place, I was really concerned. And then Brian Hill turned in one of the performances of the season. We won 4-0.
I know. He was doing so well before we had to say goodbye, wasn't he? He was having an amazing few games.
But anyway, it's I don't know. I don't know. I don't know whether I'm going to be in on the reaction or the preview show this week. To be honest, I don't know.
Like I said, I wasn't even going to do this show today because it's so hard to talk about the performances right now. It's just very draining. It's very draining. But thank you guys so much for being here with us and getting through this. We really appreciate you being here and helping us kind of get through these therapy sessions, really, because it's just not fun being a Spurs fan. But we had Dino Dinosaur. Thank you so much for being here. And David, as always, we love having you here. We had... Who do we have? We had Eddie Ryan. You're always here, my friend. Thank you. Jews nuts as always. United Spurs of America. Love you. Love having you here. We had Jeff Spur and Paul Pablo. All you guys are just amazing. And you really lift our spirits when we're when we're trying to slog through these things. So thank you, really appreciate it. And if everybody's new, if people are watching back, please can you just like the show and subscribe to Paxton Road if you're new. A special shout out as well to Adelita if you're watching. I know you're a regular viewer. I'm not sure if you're here today, but just wanted to give you a little shout out. So thank you for watching, sweetheart. Sean, anything you wanted to talk about with the guys before we go today? We've got obviously.
I'm going to be. I'm looking forward to my holiday. I'm going somewhere nice and relaxing, away from Spurs. I'm going to Beirut in Lebanon.
Amazing!
I'm going to be away for my birthday on the 13th, so I'll miss the Villa game. And I don't think that's the shootout for the last Europa League place, I think. Although that means that we might get into the Conference League.
Oh joy!
Oh joy! Oh joy!
I think we just need to. What do you think?
I would actually prefer us not to be in Europe next year.
I was about to say, yeah, I think we need a clean slate. I think we just need one game a week just to focus on rebuilding some kind of team. Obviously love being in Europe and having all the stuff that brings, but I just don't think we're there. I think we need some time out because
and also it's a lesson to Levy as well, whose whole model has been clearly exposed. I just want the Champions League money. Don't actually want to win it. Oh God, no.
I mean, it's great getting in, but we can't do anything when we're in there. So it's all about the money. It's clear as day.
Let's go for an FA Cup. Let's go for a Carabao Cup. Let's have a go at those.
Let's not.
Well, if you've only got one game a week, that's the only way you can guarantee that you'll get more games.
Agree. All right, Sean. I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you for being here, talking through this with me. Thank you guys for watching. I'll be back next week. Hopefully a bit happier.